Let's get some facts. 37% of you aren't subscribed to this channel. That's almost 4 out of 10 just freeloading the alpha. So come on, hit subscribe and I promise to keep leveling up the show with the best guests and the juiciest insight. Go on, do it now.
So they were very particular about me not tripping on those steps, so I kind of solved the first problem. I got here standing up. I'm one of the co-founders of Figure, and I'm going to give you a little bit of background on Figure, and then I want to talk about how it's intersecting in the Solana ecosystem and why that matters. We started Figure back in 2018 with the idea that capital markets are going to be massively transformed by blockchain, the ability to create native digital assets where we can displace trust with truth, changes the way that we trade assets, changes the way that assets are financed, and has a significant ramification to a lot of the marketplaces that we work through. And we were looking for a tangible use case to bring to the market. And we said, well, why don't we originate loans, aggregate them, securitize them on blockchain? We felt that we could save 85 basis points of cost in doing that. And we went to a bunch of banks and pitched this idea, and universally every bank said, this is awesome, we love it, we'd like to be the 10th bank to do this. And so it was clear no one wanted to be a first mover on it. So we stood up our lending platform and started originating loans on chain. So in 2018, we did a home equity line of credit native on public blockchain. We were the second ones to do a consumer loan on chain behind MakerDAO that started in 2017. But we started originating loans on chain. And we were doing it in what I would call the classic FinTech 2.0 way, which is we'd find the customer, we'd originate the loan, we'd use our balance sheet. But we were getting some sufficient efficiencies on the blockchain side. And very quickly, we went from that direct-to-consumer model to business of consumers. So we now have over 250 partners that use our technology to originate loans native on public chain, including 10 of the top 20 mortgage companies. And to date, we've done, I think, about $22 billion of on-chain loan origination and running at about $1.1 billion a month right now. We were the first to securitize loans on blockchain back in 2020. We were the first to do a AAA rated securitization in 23. If you go to CoinGecko, Figure HELOC, I think, is the 12th largest crypto asset on there. And it's really demonstrating our role in the RWA ecosystem and something that we're very committed to. And the logical extension of this is, well, how does this intersect with Solana? And it does across two very important points, and then one that I think is going to be built into over the next year. But the first is, as we were going through this process, we needed a mechanism to settle transactions on chain. We needed an ability to express dollars. And I was working with a group of banks back in 23 to create a tokenized version of deposits. And unfortunately, the regulators at that time came and said, look, we're not going to let you do this. Blockchain's not consistent with safety and soundness in the banking system. And so I went and started an S1 process with the SEC to create a blockchain native public equity security that pays interest but has stable value. So effectively a security version of stablecoin. And earlier this year, we went effective with this. So this is the first public security, US public security native on public chain. And we were minting this on Provenance, which is one of the blockchains that we use for a lot of the work that we do. But we're extending that, and we're now minting that yield security, which is what it's called, native on Solana. And this is important for a couple of reasons. One, it gives the builder community a yielding version of stablecoin that, while it's a security, is still freely transferable peer-to-peer. So it does everything that a USDC or USDT would do, but it's paying interest. So there's huge value in that. More importantly, it future-proofs the risk of fiat on-off ramps. So one of the things that a lot of us remember from a year and a half ago, though it seems like so long ago, we were down to maybe 2 banks that we could use to get fiat on and off blockchain. And with yields as a security, we future-proof that construct. So we're effectively providing a mechanism where, irrespective of regime changes, we're going to be able to get money on and off public blockchain. So very valuable in that regard. The second and more interesting one for today's conversation is bringing our assets over to blockchain. So today we have about $15 billion of mortgages, a little over $1 billion of crypto-backed loans, and other yielding assets that we want to bring into the DeFi ecosystem. So one of the things that we launched a week ago was Hastra. And Hastra is a liquid staking protocol where I'm effectively buying yields or a version of wrapped yields. I'm pledging it into Hastra for a Prime token. That Prime token is investing in a DeFi marketplace against our home equity line of credits. And you're taking that Prime token onto Camino where it's getting multiplied, or onto Radium where it's trading. And I had to bring my phone up to get the exact numbers, but we launched this a week ago. We've got over 75 million deployed across wrapped yields and Prime. It's the 4th biggest market on Camino right now. Users are earning over 24% on their multiply product through it. And just today, Gauntlet officially announced they're allocating a portion of its cash vault to Prime. And so what people are getting out of this is underlying yield that's coming from something they can get their arms around, right? It's not selling the forward to spot and earning the carry. It's not any algorithmic function. It's actually US mortgages. So US mortgages that are originated native on blockchain, generating yield that ultimately propagates through to support the DeFi ecosystem. The last thing that I want to talk about that we're doing that ultimately I think is going to have a significant impact on the Solana ecosystem is we did an S1. We went public back in September. So Figure's a public company. But about a week and a half ago, we released another S1 to do effectively a second IPO. We're issuing a new version of Figure Equity native on public blockchain. And so this is not going to sit at DTCC. It's not going to trade on the NASDAQ or the NYSE. It's not going to work through introducing brokers like Robinhood. It's not going to rely on prime brokerage like Goldman Sachs. This security is native on blockchain. It trades on our alternative trading system, which is effectively a decentralized exchange. It's a self-custody, self-settle, self-clear marketplace. And you will take that security, you'll be able to attach that ATS through a wallet rather than introducing broker. You'll be able to take that security onto DeFi and borrow against it, lend it out. So if you look at it side by side, we're basically disrupting the entire equity stack and bringing it native to public chain. And one of the focus points that we have is not only bringing that equity over to the Solana ecosystem, but allowing for native Solana equity issuance as well. So we're super excited to be integrating and leaning into the community here. We're excited about what the builder community is going to be able to do with yields as a security version of stablecoin. We're excited about the growth we've had with Hastra, and we have billions of assets to bring over to support that growth. But I'm most excited about disrupting this ecosystem on the equity side and doing that within the Solana community as well. So thank you very much. Appreciate the time.
So you obviously like this video enough that you've got to the end. That's quite a big task. But listen, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button, and also check out what video's next, because I think you'll love it. But if you want even more, and when I'm talking more, I'm talking about member-generated ideas, incredible alpha, research, everything there to help you in your journey, just head to realvision.com/join for the best financial intelligence out there and the pure alpha that's within the platform.